Hello, Mr. Best. How are you?
How are you, Bill?
Good. Glad you stopped by to the booth here at the Workboat show here at St. John's.
Pleasure as always.
Good. I just wanted to have a little chit chat with you folks. As you know, we've been in the bypass filtration business since 2002, over 23 years. Glen actually was one of my first customers, and I thought I'd have a little chit chat with you to share Glen's experience using the technology. And I think I approached you in 2003, was it, Glen?
I'd say, yeah, it was probably like 22 years ago.
And I laugh when I think about it because, well, maybe you can tell the story a little bit better about me being a little persistent and all that kind of good stuff.
Oh, yeah, so I always tell this story. I met Bill and he came out, he was selling the system. I guess he was new to the business and, trying to push the product. And I'm not easily convinced. A lot of things I see, I probably consider it maybe a little bit of oversell. So Bill was persistent and pushed the product, and I joke around and say that the only way to get rid of Bill is to buy something. So I bought it, and I haven't regretted it since.
So you at the time we had it on one vessel first, was it? And then we did the second one after.
We put it on the Nautical Prince first. I think we did the Northern Quest 2 after that. I'm not sure. I think we did.
Yeah.
And then I bought an Enterprise and a 65-footer with a 3412 cat, and
Donald's Legacy.
That one already had it on it.
Yes, it did. Yeah.
And then we redone all that equipment with the latest technology and done all the generators, the gears, hydraulics, and even fuel. We put on a fuel system. So
when I approached you initially, you were saying you were skeptical, and I basically said, "Hey, listen, if you wanna find out what this thing really does, why don't we just do some oil sample analysis?" And I think the first sample was on the K19, and you had the shallow base engine. I think there's only 42 liters of oil or something in that engine.
Yeah.
And the requirement by Cummins on that K19 with the small base, it was a 250-hour oil change.
250-hour intervals, yeah.
And do you remember how long you went on the first when we did the sample?
If I remember correctly, I think we went 1,200 hours.
1,200, yeah.
Yeah.
And the sample came back, no contamination, wear was normal, and the oil was suitable for further service.
Yeah, and that's been, barring some problems that comes up in the engine that's, independent of Bill's product, doesn't have to do with his product. I mean, it actually tells me that there's problems in the engines or the hydraulics. So I guess it's preventive maintenance too. So, and coming back to being skeptical, like when you're dealing with piece of equipment that are anywhere from $20,000 to maybe $200,000. I mean, you want to be sure that you're buying something that's going to not damage your equipment, but only like add to it and make it last longer and cut your downtime and your amount of waste oil. And when you're fishing hard and you want to come in and all of a sudden you get to change oil. I mean, who wants to change oil at the end of the day after fishing for a week? So there's all the benefits that we've had over the years and continue to see it.
And so recently we, because Glen's been doing oil samples, they decided to push it a little further on their transmission application, and normally the oil in the transmission is supposed to be replaced, recommended by the OEMs, 1,000-hour oil change interval. And after the installation, we have oil samples from Wear Check Canada with how many hours on the transmission, you say?
Well, I decided, ordinarily, even with Bill's fellow, I would change it annually. And I said, well, maybe I'll go 2 years and just push it down, my risk. And it was a twin disc gear on a 3412 cat, 6-to-1 reduction. And I thought I was going to go 2 years, but I guess I screwed up the timeline and it went 3 years, 4,500 hours. I sent the oil in and got had it checked, and it came back suitable for further service.
So all we're doing really is we're removing the contamination missed by the existing conventional oil filters, and we do small flow rates. We're doing 2.2 liters a minute and 3.8 liters a minute, and because we do that, we're able to remove the contamination and particulate that regular OEM filters are unable to remove, mainly because the engine and the hydraulic system need high volumes of oil to perform their function. And you can't have a dense filter removing ultrafine contamination when you have very fast flow rate. So we're just a bypass, and because of that, we're able to remove that contamination and safely prolong the oil with operational safety, right? So you've had it on, and you had a rebuild done on that 3412 cat.
We've had a rebuild done on the 3412, using the filters for years. We've had a rebuild done on the K19.
And what was the result when you had the engine rebuilt on the Donald's Legacy? How many hours was on it? 30.
Well, we had some problems with oil in the coolant, and I was, I bought the boat from a previous owner, so I didn't know, how the engine was treated. Right? Yeah. So I said and I saw the oil, so I said maybe it's best for me to get it rebuilt, and then I know what I'm working with, and I think it was like 20, maybe somewhere mid 25,000 hours, I'm thinking, and so we brought got the head sent in to the guy, and the guy said to me, he said, somebody said, these heads, he said, somebody was telling me that there's a certain amount of hours, like I don't know what it was 70 or 18 or whatever, how many hours was on it, and he said, I said, no, that's not right. He said, no, I knew that. He said, there must be less hours on that because the heads are in such good shape. I said, no, it's actually more hours. And he said, what? And he said, yeah, the chrome, he said, not even gone off the equipment, off the heads or valves or whatever's in working.
And when I promote this product, most people like the idea because they're saving money on oil and filters. But like for that engine, if you had to rebuild that engine, or what are you talking now? It's over $200,000 to rebuild that engine?
No, I don't think no, I wouldn't go as far as that. I think, things have gone crazy in cost. So, I mean, I'm thinking now to rebuild that engine, you're in it for over $100,000, right? I have maybe 125, maybe 150, but I think you're into well over 100,000 now. So, I mean, when you're talking about expensive equipment, my philosophy is, you do everything you can for maintenance, and you try to prevent stuff, and you try to prevent downtime, you try to prevent costs, and all the things that Bill's filter system. That's the things that it gives me. It gives me confidence in my equipment. I know what I'm working with. I know if I've experienced some problems or if there's problems coming because the samples tell me that. So, I mean,
it's a proactive. There's no doubt.
Proactive. Yeah. Now it's not only just the cost. There's so many other benefits, and that's why I like the product.
Well, I'm certainly glad that you went ahead with it, even after me being persistent. And you look at your cost savings. The 3412 cat alone is costing you about $1,200 to $1,500 to change the oil on that. So to go 1,500 hours, you're looking at $4,500. And with our technology, well, you still got your initial oil change at $1,500, but now you're going through 6 $100 elements. So you're $2,100 versus $4,500, so it's more than a 50% reduction in your cost savings, right?
Yeah, and if you're going to use a product, follow the directions, follow the change schedule on your filters, and do what you're supposed to do, and you'll be happy with the product.
Yeah, because I've had some, there's just people out there, that put a negative spin on the filter, but like I say to them, listen, you talk to anybody who uses this technology properly, changes the elements at the recommended intervals as prescribed, they will see and reap the benefits as you have, right?
Oh, there's naysayers, and I've been to some shows with you, Bill, and you see people, how does this work, or does it take the additives out, or how can this possibly work? But I mean, I'm living proof. If you use a product for 20 plus years, and I've never had an engine failure, I've never had a major engine problem. We're really good with maintenance, I think. So, I mean, it's a win-win.
And then even the environment compact, the environment aspect of it, it's a fact that 1,000 liters of waste oil is equivalent to 2.83 metric tons of CO2. So, in that 15 years that you've been using, or 20 years now, I guess, pretty close, that you've been using that technology, if that engine that cat is 142 liters of oil in that base pan, so you're only doing 1 oil change a year versus 3. That's a pretty significant reduction in your carbon footprint for commercial fishing enterprises. That's a good bonus, right?
Well, for sure. I mean, if you're looking at carbon, I mean, I guess every little bit helps. But just a little tidbit for you. We have on the K19, we have a ZF gear on that one, a transmission, And that transmission now is 20, 40. It's into the high 60, like probably pushing
60,000 hours, yeah?
pushing, I'd say close to 70,000 hours if I remember correctly, and it hasn't been rebuilt.
Wow. So what's the cost to rebuild that? Must be 60 or 80 grand
I
rebuild
don't know,
transmission.
like the replacement on that gear now, I'd be say you're pushing 100,000
Wow.
on that gear.
60,000 hours.
Yeah. Well, we done the rebuild at 45, and now that was in 2017. We averaged, that's 8 years ago, 16, 46, 56, yeah, we were into the 60s.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, great. I appreciate your time for dropping by. Always
All
good
right.
to see you.
Thanks a lot.
My
Success
pleasure,
seeing you
man.
again, Bill.
All right. Cheers.